Hello and very good morning everybody. Today we shall discuss what is the importance or significance of international trade. This is a very important portion of our first chapter, and the first chapter, as we have been discussing it, the first chapter is Introduction to International Trade. So international trade importance and significance, or in other words we can say why a country should engage itself in international trade. Why we should do international trade? Where is the need? Why? So very natural question may arise in your mind that why we should involve in international trade. Alright? So let's begin. My dear students, as you know that in today's modern world, no country is self-sufficient. There is no country across the world which is self-sufficient, or in other words we can say it can satisfy all its whole needs and demands within itself, within its boundary of its own country. So no country is self-sufficient or self-dependent. Almost all the countries have their own needs and demands which are diverse, and because of their diverse needs and demands, all the countries are, we can say, interdependent. They are interdependent, dependent on each other. No country is self-dependent. One country is for some or the other way, some to a large extent, to a lesser extent, is dependent on other countries. For example, let us say I have taken two countries. One side I have taken India, another side I have taken Saudi Arabia. India is one of the major countries of the world. It is one of the largest countries of the world. It comes number 7 here. So with a population of 120 million people. Correct? So what is happening? India doesn't need oil. As you know that petrol, diesel, day by day needs increasing, demand is increasing. So India has oil is available in India. It is only 7%. We have oil. India has only 7%. 93% of India's oil need or energy needs, oil in terms of crude oil, it comes from imports, other countries outside. India only has 7%, can satisfy only 7% of its oil needs, while 93% of its oil needs come from imports. So India gets oil for a year, for example, from Saudi Arabia. Well, India gets oil from various countries like Saudi Arabia, Iran, so many other countries. But majorly Saudi Arabia and Iran. So India needs oil. So crude oil. So for crude oil, India is dependent on Saudi Arabia. While Saudi Arabia, you see that it's majorly big refined oil. Correct? So, but as far as agricultural products are concerned, Saudi Arabia is lacking. So Saudi Arabia does not have so many agricultural products. Cannot manufacture, cannot grow. So India supplies agricultural products to Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia needs agricultural products and India needs crude oil, and they are dependent on each other. So because they are dependent on each other, they can satisfy each other's needs and demands. That's why, because of their interdependence, they have to do the trade. So trade between countries, because of their independence, becomes indispensable in modern world today. In today's scenario and modern scenario, in today's world, all countries are interdependent in terms of trade. So trade is indispensable. Trade is indispensable. It is the indispensable means cannot be avoided. It cannot be avoided. So trade will happen, or every country has to involve itself in trade, or we can say international trade, because if it wants to satisfy its needs and wants, it has to export its product or import some product from other countries, and vice versa for the other countries as well. So trade or international trade is there, and international trade is not a new thing all about it. If you go in history, from time immemorial, international trading has been happening. If you study the history, that during the Indus Valley civilization, goods commodity Indus Valley civilization people, they used to get from Mesopotamian civilization, Egyptian civilization. We have a Greek civilization and so many other civilizations. And international trade had been happening at that time. And since that time, the trade is happening. Always international trade between the countries, across the countries, has been happening for over a long period of time. So it's not a new thing, but the form and shape or the process has been changes. So trade is indispensable today. International trade, all countries to satisfy their needs and demands, they are dependent on other countries. So due to their interdependence, international trade is in existence. And it becomes very, very important. If India does not get oil from other country, what will happen? If you don't get petrol and diesel here, what will happen? Your economy will come to a standstill. Horrible situation, inflation will go up. Right? So, for every country, engagement in international trade is very, very important. Now, systematically, we shall discuss what is the significance or importance of international trade one by one. Let's start. The first reason why countries should involve in international trade. So first point is to balance inequalities of natural resources. Inequality of natural resources. Inequality of natural resources. For example, let us tell you. One side I am taking Western countries. Mostly Western countries, America, Canada, mostly European countries, mostly developed countries. And these countries, there are less natural resources. Natural resources are very less in those countries, Western countries. These countries are mostly developed. Natural resources are very less. So, Western countries, they have very less natural resources. Their natural resources are less. On the other side, take Asian or African countries, mostly India has economies and all. African countries also, Asian countries and African countries. What is the common thing you find that? Asian countries and African countries, they are rich in natural resources. They have more natural resources. The endowment or possession of natural resources is comparatively more in African and Asian economies or countries than Western countries. So Asian and African countries have more natural resources, while Western countries, developed economies, have less natural resources. Okay? Now what is happening? These countries, because for example, let's say one natural resource, that is iron ore. Iron, it's a kind of mineral which is taken out from the ground, correct? And this is known as iron ore. Must have studied it in 10th class, 12th class. Iron ore, understand? Iron ore. It's take out from ground. In the form of iron ore. So this iron ore is a natural resource. So these Asian economies, what is happening across the world, across the globe, what is happening? These Asian economies or countries, they are exporting their natural resources. India is also exporting its natural resources. And very cheap also. So these Asian, overall, this is a scenario that Asian and African countries are exporting their natural resources to Western countries. So in this example, so Asian and African countries are selling or exporting iron ore to Western countries. Then Western countries what to do? Because they are already developed, industrially advanced. They have manufacturing plants there. So out of that iron which they have received, they manufacture machines. And those machines they sell to these countries. Machines are known as capital use. So mostly you see it's a common trend is that Western countries are majorly manufacturing capital goods and African and Asian economy countries are mostly manufacturing natural commodity or agricultural commodities. Correct? So these Asian countries, African countries, they are exporting iron ore to Western countries, or we can say Western countries are importing iron ore from African countries or Asian countries, and these Western countries are selling or exporting machines to African countries, or African or Asian countries are importing machines from these countries. So what is happening? These countries have industries there, and as a raw material, they need iron ore. Out of this iron ore, they manufacture machines and they sell in the markets of African and Asian countries. So in this whole trade scenario, you can see that both Western countries and Asian countries, they are interdependent. These Western countries, they need raw material as iron ore from these countries, and these countries, they need their machines from these countries to facilitate for other countries. So we can say Western countries which have less natural goods, these countries, as far as iron ore is concerned, iron ore is basically found in Asian and African countries, while these economies it is less than. So because they get iron ore which is less in number, correct, from African and Asian economies, so they need iron, and Asian and African countries which they need machines, correct, so they have their own needs. So out of this trade, what is happening? These Asian economies, they need machines, well, they got those machines, and they need iron ore, they got that iron. So their needs are balancing each other. Or we can say these countries which did not have natural resources, but they got natural resources from other countries, and these economies which did not have machines of capital goods, they are less capital goods they had, they got the machines from those countries. So now whatever less they had, they got from them, and whatever less they had, they got from them. So they utilize themselves, or they utilize needs of each other by involving in international trade. And especially in this case, they balance the inequalities of natural resources by engaging themselves in international trade. So this is the first reason, a very important reason, that why countries should involve in international trade. So because there is inequality of natural resources, because there is geographical, if you look at the world map and geographical map of that, where the mineral and deposits, you will find that most of the natural resources are adored or distributed in Asian and African countries. Right? So because they have less, therefore they include from these countries. So countries, whatever, which all those countries which are lacking natural resources, through involving in international trade, from buying those commodity or raw material from other countries, it can equalize their needs or can satisfy their needs. This is a very important point, that to balance inequality of natural resources is countries have to involve themselves in international trade. So it's very important. So there are so many other important things are there, many other points are there, which we will discuss in next class. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good time.